What is up, you guys? It is your girl Deja D, and welcome to another episode of my podcast. Let me tell you something. We are here. It is season 2, episode 6, kicking off in a new month, February. So what's up? How has y'all first month been? I think we had a really good time. I am keeping up and being consistent. Woo! Being consistent with dropping these episodes every single Monday. Like I told y'all, last season we did every other Monday, so it kind of gave me some time, but this season it's like, no girl, every week we need some content, which I'm enjoying because it's pushing myself, it's getting you guys content, feeding content out, building the brand X, Y, and Z, but it is a lot. So yeah, I'm filming this. It is Friday after a long work week. I'm literally just coming in from a work event, and like I just had like my little blazer and stuff on. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see, but I was like, okay, I'm going in, I'm going to record my podcast. That way it could be ready for you all on Monday so you all can see it. Sidebar, for anybody out there creating content or creating a podcast or anything like that, highly recommend posting your content. Some people know this, but if you don't, highly recommend posting your content at least a day before it actually drops. That has been my saving grace this season. Not waiting until Monday to try to get it uploaded and everything. Like, no, also I record on a camera, so it takes a minute for it to process in 4K. So I like to make sure everything's good to go. That way when Monday gets here, I don't have to worry about anything. It's already lined up, the thumbnail's done, everything's already ready. So yeah, if you're new to this page, if you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you are following us. Sometimes you could be listening to us on Spotify and not following us, so make sure you're following us. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're listening and tuned in watching us on YouTube. And make sure you are engaging with the content, okay? I'm excited for the month of February. I'm excited for these next few upcoming, these upcoming episodes of the podcast. I'm going to be playing around with some stuff these next few episodes, so just bear with me. I need a little spice. I'm going to try to insert some new segments in as well. So enough rambling. Let's get into today's episode 6. Because let me tell you something. You're a badass. When did you stop believing in yourself? Do y'all understand how much confidence it takes to chat to a camera and upload content onto your YouTube page? Do you all understand how much, like, it takes a lot of confidence to do that? It takes a lot of confidence to say, hey, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to buy this equipment. I'm going to buy these cameras. I'm going to sit here and write out a whole season and plan this whole content and, you know, just hoping people listen, hoping people tune in, even if it's 1, 2, 3 people. You know, you have a lot of confidence in betting on yourself to do when it comes to creating content. And when I first decided, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to start content creation, I had to really build up my confidence to do that. It takes a lot of confidence to chase your dreams. When I first was going to write this episode and when I first started this episode, I was going to specifically talk about the confidence that it takes to be a content creator. And I'll definitely touch on that, but let me tell you something. You have to have a lot of confidence to chase whatever dream it is that you want to chase. I talked a little bit about my journey of becoming a content creator in season 1, episode 6. It was called First They Laugh and Then They Ask for Help. And I'll make sure that it's linked on YouTube. I have a whole playlist called Let Me Tell You Something, and you can watch all the way from episode 1 to the current uploads. It's always getting refreshed every time I upload. And then on Apple and Spotify, I also have all of season 1 uploaded, so feel free to check that out. It is episode 6, First They Laugh and Then They Ask for Help. And I talked about that, just overall in that episode, my journey on becoming a content creator. And the reason why I even named that episode First They Laugh and Then They Ask for Help is because that's how it is, kind of, or that's how I felt with my journey, to where it was weird, it was new. Like, what makes you think you can sit there and record, you know, content, or what makes you feel like people want to listen to you? And then once people start watching, or they see the numbers coming in, or they see the brand deals coming in, it's how do you do that? Or we love your content, or we want to know how we can, you know, get into that. How do you get into content creation X, Y, and Z? When it was like I was begging and pleading people to watch me at first. Not begging like being thirsty, but just like overly sending out my links and hey, feel free to check this out. And you know, it was just it was a hard process trying to get myself out there and to promote my work. So it went from me having to promote and like basically, like I said, beg people to watch my stuff to now like, hey girl, how did you do that? Like, oh my gosh, put us in a vlog, get us on your page, can you do an interview, da 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 da. But like I said, initially when I first wrote this episode, or when I first thought about doing this episode, I was going to talk about just, you know, specifically talking about content creating, but I wanted to elaborate on that discussion that I had in season 1, episode 6, and just talk about how you cannot give up on yourself when that comes to chasing your dreams. I was in church and, well, I was watching church. I watch church virtually. Where's my people at that watch church? I watch church. So I was watching church and I heard the pastor says that God does not want us to compare ourselves to our old success. And that really stuck to me. Earlier in this season, I talked to you all about how I was super depressed last year after I graduated, and that had a big impact on just my income, because in order to do the work that I do, or any work, you know, period, you have to be in the correct mind frame. And I could not show up and create content because I either didn't have anything else to say, I was crying because I was so depressed, and I just had bags under my eyes. And that's fine because now I have things to discuss in season 2. But I had to, you know, basically go through that period of like not working. My money was like, what the hell, girl? And like, you know, just trying to get myself together overall. And the reason why that, you know, service, or when the pastor had made that statement about like comparing yourself to your old success, stuck to me, is because if you were watching my content in 2022, that was the year that I probably received the most brand deals. Like I worked with Home Goods, Honey Pot, Madam C.J. Walker, Target. I was a Samsung campus ambassador. And to me, this was a big deal because, you know, a lot of content creators want to reach that point where they're making, you know, hundreds and thousands of dollars of these content creation. I was able to stop working my part-time, kind of do my content full-time. Mind you, I was in school, so that also definitely played a part. My responsibilities financially look different. But for the most part, you know, as far as like my day-to-day, like, okay, I got a car, I'm taking care of that kind of stuff, able to maintain my lifestyle, travel, do a whole bunch of different things. That's something that as a content creator, you're like, wow, I made it. I'm doing my damn thing. And I was able to reach that level of success. And you don't want to move backwards after doing that. And once you hit a certain number that you're making, like once you have a brand deal, and let's say you're making X amount of money, you don't want to go backwards. You know, once you make, okay, I made whatever, let's say hypothetically speaking, let's just say $100. I'm just throwing that number out there. But let's say you make $100. Cool. The next time you get another deal, you want to try to either make the same amount or more. And then you want to keep going up and up and up. So you don't want to accept something, like I said, that's doing less than what you want to do. And when I was job hunting post-grad and working part-time, I could not make less of the job that I was already doing. So when brands would reach out to me and I would tell them my rates, they would want something cheaper, and I knew my worth. So I had to kind of like decline a lot of work. I've had some really big brands reach out to me after doing those types of projects that I did and named. And I'll tell them a rate that I want, and they'll be like, nah, or they'll tell me what number they're willing to give me, and I had to decline it no matter how much or what the title of the brand is. And I wish I could share, child, but I had to sign some NDAs. But nonetheless, that's just what comes with being a creator. And I can't speak for everybody, but that's what comes with being a Black creator. And I was willing to decline a lot of work because I knew my value. And it's hard believing in yourself sometimes and telling people that you have to decline an opportunity because you know your worth. And we'll go deeper into this topic later in the season. However, just the overall theme of believing yourself and just having that confidence in your work was really, really hard. But more importantly, having faith that God wouldn't show you success once. I knew that God just couldn't, and he wouldn't show me all the opportunities my senior year in college and wouldn't take me through success the rest of my life. And that's kind of the tie back into, you know, like what the pastor said and how I had to kind of tell myself, like, okay, Diz, you have to keep believing in yourself. Like, God wouldn't show you that you could have these different type of opportunities and have the success with content creating just for you to never see nothing like that ever again. And your success might look different. You know, your success might come from, you know, work that I'm doing now as far as with my actual job. Or my success might look different as far as just like with my content creating. You never know. But I knew and I had faith that God would not show me no level of success. He did not let me reach my peak in 2023 or in 2022. He did not let me reach my peak in 2022. There's no way that God let me reach my peak when I was 21. What? So yeah, I just had to have faith that God, he couldn't and he just wouldn't show me the opportunities that I had my senior year and wouldn't let me have more success throughout my life. But the truth is I did start to stop believing in myself. I started to give up. I started to settle. When I graduated, I had a social media client and was ready to work. And then, you know, it didn't work out. She would tear me down, had really hard critiques when it came to my work. And overall, those critiques and that hard stuff, I'm able to take critiques. I'm able to understand that I'm not a perfect person and I'm willing to learn. But the moral of it all with her was that it was more so like she just couldn't pay me. And I'm not going to say she couldn't pay me in a sense of like, you broke me, da 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 da. But it was just simply like my services were, it's a luxury to have a social media manager. It's a luxury to have somebody able to run your Instagram, run your TikTok, run your Twitter, that a lot of businesses and brands do not have the right to do. And I feel like she bit more off than she could chew at the time. So it didn't work out, but in the process of it all, you know, it was kind of like tearing me down. So I stopped working with her, with the job search, with me losing that client, with me being, you know, in that state of looking for a job and not able to find a job. I heard a lot of no's. And in this post-grad diaries, there's a lot of people who graduate from college. And I spoke about this in an earlier episode of the season on how, you know, you're told that you're going to graduate and you're going to get this degree and you're going to start working automatically, and that's just not the reality for a lot of stuff. So hearing all of these no's, and even, you know, sometimes people, like throughout your entire life, you're going to get no's. There's going to be times where people are laid off. It's going to be times where you're looking for that promotion at your job and you're getting told no, or you're not ready, or this, that, and the third. And it doesn't stop the fact that you are a badass. You just start to kind of not believe in yourself. You kind of start to get torn down from the obstacles that life gives you. So I started getting torn down. I started to feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this content stuff. It's not working out. My views aren't going how they used to go. I keep getting told no. Maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. Maybe I don't create as good as content as I thought I did. You know, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I don't need to keep pursuing this or trying to chase this dream because I keep getting told no. So like, let me just try to do the easiest, quickest thing possible. I start working as a host at a comedy club. Very bare minimum, didn't need a degree to do that job. Just pull up, work at the club, basically, and that was what it was. So I'm getting beat up and I'm just like, okay, I just need to do what I got to do to get through. In a time where I needed to be creating content, I lost all my confidence. I did not think that I would ever see brand deals again. I didn't think that I would see any of that again. I thought that I would have to settle for just a regular little job. I just didn't know. And this is what I want to do right here. I wanted to focus on my podcast and on my business and as an entrepreneur. And you have to believe in yourself in order to show up every day and work without anybody telling you. You have to believe in your vision. You have to invest in your time into being better in your craft. You have to study and put in the hours. I had to go back and watch my old videos and see my hustle and how and what I was doing then and stopped doing now. Let me tell you something. I was always a badass. I just stopped believing in myself. And a lot of you all now listening are badasses who stopped believing in yourself. I'm still that 13-year-old girl who had my tablet and I was chatting about, you know, high school and vlogging my prom. I'm still that girl. I'm still that girl who did the home goods campaigns. I'm still the girl who did the news in elementary school. I'm still the girl who pushed herself to pass her PT test in the military. I'm the same girl who was the school president. I'm the same girl who was writing songs and singing them in front of the family. I just stopped believing in her and I allowed for my past success to interfere with my confidence to stop where I was going. It's hard to push yourself. And like I said, I had to kind of really dig back and I had to watch those old TikTok videos. I had to watch my old videos to get re-inspired during that time of my depression. You know, I'm looking for jobs. I'm looking for clients. People are telling me no. You know, it's seeming like my dream is starting to fade away and I'm trying to do a more realistic approach. And it's nothing wrong with doing what you got to do. It's nothing wrong with working that part-time job. It's nothing wrong with working that full-time job. It's nothing wrong with doing those things. However, in the process, you have to still invest in yourself. Me, right now, I'm still investing in my dream. I believe in myself. I have my confidence back to say, you know what? It doesn't matter how many people are tuning in. It doesn't matter, you know, 1, 2, 3 viewers, 100 viewers, 60 something viewers, 70 something viewers. I believe in this. I believe in my podcast. I believe in myself. I know that this is going to work out for me. And I just have to keep pursuing it and have the confidence enough to show up every single day and cut this camera on. Cut this camera on after I leave my work meeting and say, you know what? I know my podcast is going to do good. I know I believe in this. Because I used to believe in it. I'm still that same girl who was the school president in 6th grade. I'm still that same girl who was the school vice president in 12th grade. I'm still that same girl who did the home goods campaigns, the Target campaigns. That's still me. I just stopped believing in her. I needed that time. I truly did. And as hard as it was for me financially, as hard as it was for me to go through that mental episode, as hard as it was for me to go through that depressive period after graduation, I needed that. I really did, because I don't think I would be this version of myself and as wise as I am now without it. I don't think I would have just been in the same boat and I would have not been walking in my purpose. I want for everyone who is tuned in to really take time, if they have not, to truly self-reflect. And if you are currently experiencing or in a season in your life where you do not believe in yourself, ask yourself, when did I stop believing in myself? I titled this episode, You Are a Badass. When did you stop believing in yourself? Based on one of my favorite motivational books by Jen Sincero. You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. I actually think I have a copy of it right here. I titled this book, and you all probably heard me talk about this book a lot. I'm not the biggest reader, so like this is probably one of the only books I really read for real recently. And like by recently, I mean a few years, which I'm not proud to say, but it's a good book. So I titled this based on this book right here. And like I said, it is called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And if you're looking for a really good book, definitely check this out. And also get you a copy of Deja's Daily Doses, my motivational coffee table book full of quotes. But yeah, if you're looking for a good book to read to help boost your confidence, definitely check this out. Let me tell you something. You all are badasses. You're the best makeup artist. You're the best singer. You're the best scientist. You have the best model walk. You're the greatest and you're the best chef. You have the most amazing food. You grow the best plants. You're going to be an amazing lawyer, an amazing dentist, surgeon, pharmacist. You give and you have the best advice to offer the world. You're the most amazing mother, father, daughter. Shout out to all the oldest daughters out there. Shout out to all the oldest daughters out there. I'm giving y'all kisses and hugs because I know you need it. And I love you all. I really do. I truly do. And I make these episodes just to kind of share some stories with you all and just things that I wish somebody would have told me and things that people have told me, you know, that I want to share with you all. I want to tell you all one more thing before this episode gets wrapped up. You know what you want to do. You know what that dream is that you have. You know what your passion is. You know what you want to do. Like, you do. Stop bullshitting. That little thought you have in your head, that dream you have in your head, that's what you want to do. You keep pushing it away. You keep running away from it. You keep saying this isn't what it's not going to work out, but it's what you want to do. And it's what you keep being called and told that you want to do and keep running towards. And you might get distracted for a minute, but like me, for example, I always knew I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I always knew this is something I wanted to do since I was in middle school. It's the reason why I went to college and studied psychology. It's the reason why I studied journalism. It's the reason why I started Asia's Daily Dose my freshman year of college. I knew I wanted to do this. I knew I wanted to work in an industry where I could be a motivational speaker, period. And I believe that everybody out there has something that they truly want to do, no matter what that is. And you might get distracted trying to want quick money or something fast to help you out and you lose focus. But overall, you'll never be satisfied until you do what you want to do. And right now, I'm living in my purpose. I'm working towards my goals. Child, I am tired. I could take a nap after I record this video. But I'm working towards getting back to my goals. I'm being consistent with dropping these podcasts. I'm working on some more stuff behind the scenes that hopefully works. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. And I can't wait to share it with you all. But until you're working and doing what you want to do, you can keep running away from it. But you're just slowing up the time that it takes for you to reach it. And that's something that I'm telling you all and I'm telling myself in the process. But I truly do hope that I touch somebody in today's episode and make them feel their inner badass again. I want for someone to hear this episode and find that confidence in themselves again and to pursue their dreams no matter how, and to pursue their dreams no matter how crazy they may sound. Trust me that your inner child will thank you. And I know that God wouldn't give you a dream without being able to provide you the tools that you need to execute it. I love you all. And this episode was very important to me. Let's chat about this topic. I really want to make this an open discussion. So let's actually head to Twitter to chat about today's episode. Tell me something. What are you passionate about? What is that fire that got just like inside of you that you are ready to like let burst out? What are your dreams? What are you working towards? What are your goals for the year? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode. Excuse me if you feel like I have low energy because I do. I really do. But yeah, I really do appreciate you all. Cheers to February. I'm going to try to spice up next week's episode. It's called I'm in love, I'm obsessed, and I don't feel bad about it. And I am so excited for you all to see what that episode's about. So make sure you're tuned in. I'm your host, Deja D. Make sure you're following us at Deja's Daily Dose on all social media platforms. Like I said, let's make this a conversation over on Twitter. I don't shout out the Twitter enough. I always say I'm going to get better with it. But let's bring it in this episode, okay? Let's bring it in. Tell me something. What are you all passionate about, okay? I love you all. See you all next Mondays here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you're tuned in. Bye.